What's going on? What's going on, my people? Y'all already know what it is. Y'all see who y'all got in front of y'all, so y'all know it's time for the greatness that is the fire session, y'all. Let's start here. Nobody checks on strong men. They just expect them to keep showing up. But what happens when the strong man is tired mentally? We don't talk enough about that. So let's talk about it today. So slide it up. Ugh,
Thousands of chickens running
this
around
guy.
everywhere. Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah, I'm
You
pretty
know,
sure they
it's
are. They're gonna be short lived because Benji, he gonna kill them.
yeah, facts.
he
Like
gonna kill the
little
chickens.
criminal.
He
Now,
gonna
see,
kill the chickens.
chickens produce eggs and some good meat. So it's only fitting that a chicken get bumped off for the breast, best part of the chicken. Just want you to
Mm.
know that. Best part, especially when you fry it like super dope and you get that crisp on the top. Can't beat it. So it's only appropriate because chickens are supposed to die, I believe, so that we can have chicken. Fried chicken. Just saying.
Hey, spoken like a true black man. Man say
Yeah, I'm
chickens are
like
supposed to die.
Peter's somewhere like pissed off right now. Like he was not supposed to be doing the animals like that, man. You
I
know,
mean, listen. Something's got to be slaughtered. Cows. I don't eat beef,
I
but
guess
I
that's the same thing
understand.
they thought when they thought about black folks too.
Mm.
That's very true.
Something had to be slaughtered.
That's sad reality. But I'm sure chicken tastes better than beef. Chicken tastes better than pork. I'm just saying.
Chicken tastes better than a nice steak.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just some
Listen.
good fried chicken. I'm just saying.
Listen. I'm not a steak person, so I can't side with Trisha Michelle on this one. You know what I'm saying? Nothing beat a good old piece of chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay with a steak, but nothing beats a
I
good
just
old piece of
love
chicken. You
like
know what I'm saying?
A good
I love a
porterhouse.
good fried chicken. I love a good medium rare steak. I love some good. I just smother some lamb chops right now. Like
Ooh,
I love
come on.
good food in general.
Uh-huh.
So as long as it's made right, I take it. I'm not gonna say the word, but I will eat.
Pause. No, well,
I ain't say the word. Ain't no pause. I'm good around here.
yeah, but you already said as long as you
Nope.
just take it. But I
Nah, see,
gotta
we're not
take
gonna
that.
pause on everything in the world. Like the vocabulary is okay to speak normal sentences. We're not gonna do that. Okay.
All right, man. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. You tapped into the fire session. Y'all already see what kind of good energy we on today, but we got a serious topic that we gotta
Yeah,
attack today.
yeah.
Men's mental health. A lot of times we we don't get too heavy on it in certain spaces because you know what? I think a lot of times, a lot of guys are shy away from talking about it.
I agree.
But today we gonna dig a little deep. But before we jump into the fire, we gotta check on our own people to make sure we good before we proceed. So Trisha Michelle, are you good today?
Forward.
Uh, yeah, you see it's glistening too. It's shining.
Yeah,
That's when
shine,
it's
shine
freshly clean. These braids is
on
freshly braided.
me.
These edges is freshly laid. Like I got
Shine
somewhere to be,
on
basically.
me.
So I'm flying out to New Orleans tomorrow. But
Let the
it's been a
light.
busy week in general for me. And let me just say, like, I've been so everywhere that today I thought today was tomorrow. And at the same time thought today was Friday. So I was like getting ready to prepare my son and then for the pool guy. And I was like, and I'm sitting there like, what am I talking about? Like
Right.
I done showed up to something that ain't till tomorrow. I done bought the gift and everything. I mean, the good part about it is I bought the gift already. But
Right. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm a mess at the same time, about to enjoy a few days away. So, I'm good. So I can't wait to go eat that food in New Orleans. Woo.
Make sure
All
you
right.
get you a good piece of chicken.
No,
It's,
we
it's
ain't.
way
I
it's
probably
way,
ain't eating not a lick of chicken out there.
it's way more than chicken down there.
I mean, I'm limited when I
You can
go
have
to
your chicken. You the type to order wings at every restaurant. Let me
no, no,
find out.
no,
You over here
no,
talking about chicken every time.
no.
Like, you don't go to New Orleans. I mean, they
No,
do have some great fried chicken,
but we
and
in the
and they
comfort.
have this one. I forgot the name of the little establishment, but he's like literally almost on every little block. This chicken spot, and it's fire. But that's not what
See,
I go out there for. I need them charbroiled oysters. I need them crawfish. I need that. I need everything.
yeah, no, I dig it. I'm just saying you can't pass up the gospel bird. But I just
Not
been
buying a
feeling
bird.
chicken in
Fuck
my
that bird.
spirit the
Not in New
last
Orleans.
days. I'm just saying, I don't know why. Just when you feel that chicken spirit, you just gotta have it. It just
It's
hits you.
cool. Like, you clearly was a chicken in your past life. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, potentially running around quack, 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 quack. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly. All
Clearly.
right. So Benji Banks, the man, the brand, man. How you doing, man? We see you in a great mood.
I'm just hiding it, man. I ain't gonna even lie. Today is a special episode we're gonna talk about. But truth be told, man, today is my mom's birthday, and that's you as a man, you try, when you potentially you have your moments, you know how we are. If we got to play it off and stuff like that. So I've been kind of in that space where you just try not to think about it, because if you do, it's going to hit you a little too heavy, and you got things to do, and it's like, so it's just one of them days. You know what I'm saying? Overall, I'm good though. My daughter checked on me kind of out of the blue,
Good for her.
and so I appreciate that. I can't even remember the last time somebody. Well, I mean, I know we do it on our show, but one of my siblings that is like in close proximity was like, hey, how you doing, man? How's everything? So that was kind of a blessing for me today. That picked me up, but it also made me rethink about it extra a little bit more. So it's a challenge, but at the end of the day, man, we somehow we was built for this. So, but overall, I'm good though.
I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
but see, this is the perfect timing for what
What
we're
an
talking about,
episode. What an
because
episode.
you
Yes.
just said a bunch of stuff that
Right.
we
You
shouldn't
just
be
said a
saying.
bunch of bull hockey.
Yeah, we
Trying to-
shouldn't be saying,
Yeah,
because
talking about,
you should
how we
have
gotta do. Like,
yeah,
that's
you
the
should have
problem.
the room to be able to express yourself, to feel how you need to feel, and be able to function in that. And the
Yeah.
people around you should be supportive, and it should be cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because
Right.
for you in that situation, a lot of the audience may not know the specific situation with
Right.
your mom, but it's been years, and it happened to you when you were a child, and I'm pretty sure
Right.
that there are still childhood wounds from that
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
that you still haven't had a chance to really fully deal with. So yeah, man, you just got to give yourself space and room to feel how you need to feel, and if people don't like it, or people don't agree with it, or people don't understand it, oh well.
And that's the crazy part. I know we're gonna dive into that and get into it from that standpoint, but it's interesting to think about it and then not to think about it, because when you don't think about it, it doesn't hit you. So that's kind of your safe space. Like, let me not think about this that heavy. But again, Mother's Day coming up, all of this types of stuff. It's the birthday month and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, it could get pretty heavy. So I try not to really dive into too much. But again, like when it hits you, bruh, ain't nothing you can do. You just gotta be human. Just
Yep.
gotta let it be. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep, that is 100% correct, because guess what, my guy? As much as you want to be a robot, you human. You human, and you have you have emotions,
Facts.
even though you want to be a robot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Facts.
like robots. You know what I'm saying? The touchy, fleshy
I mean,
robots. But
I'm digging the robots. I'm telling you. Y'all, I'm telling y'all gonna have some yeah.
Yo,
Tell me.
before we
coming.
move on though, let me tell y'all this right quick. I'm doing amazing today. I'm having a great day. But Trisha Michelle sent me a video of one of our favorite robots chasing
sir.
some girl, bruh. That that robot is I'm starting to believe that robot is definitely adapting.
I
Facts.
swear he is. Like he
He
has
has
gotten,
I'm telling you, it is.
and I'm just like,
he's adapting. He's seriously
he's
adapting
a
because
menace right now.
yeah, he's starting to do some stuff that
Stick
I'm
what your
just
mama
like,
gave you in this joint.
wow. And
Yo, that
I know he
video
has
sent me.
somebody
I had to
operating
send it
him.
to you.
Yeah, I know he has somebody operating him, and the stuff that he says is, but some of that stuff, from what I understand, is AI software. So it's like
Yeah.
he's actually learning. He's
And that is
actually,
the point of it,
yeah. And I was like,
to
yo,
continuously evolve and adapt and learn, and within that, AI
this
umbrella. So I
dude
mean,
went
he's
in
definitely learning.
this dude went in creep mode and was chasing girls.
Chasing
I
her
was
was
like,
crazy though.
I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you.
He was gone.
It's going to be interesting.
and
Oh
it's
I'm
my
not
telling
just the
y'all,
fact
it's
that he
going
was
to be
chasing them.
interesting.
It's the way he was running. It was
exactly, because
straight creep
that's all
mode
in my
run.
head I got is that vision, that visual of how he took off.
I was like, yeah, that's creep mode. That's the creep mode run right
Absolutely,
there.
that was the creep run for sure.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna get you."
Facts. All right, man. Like I said, I'm feeling good today, man. It's a great day to have this conversation, man, because
Yeah.
there's some days where I don't feel the best. It's some days where, like Benji mentioned, especially guys from our generation and before, we were just taught just to, what I'm saying, deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you couldn't deal with it, or you had a day where you just, what I'm saying, weren't feeling your best, people look down on you like, what's wrong with you? You weak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those type of words are thrown around. Or, what I'm saying, back in the day, they say you a sissy. You know what I'm saying? Boy, you over there crying. You better straighten up. You better be strong. You know what I'm saying? Real men don't cry. And then you get older and you like, man, hold on. There's some stuff happening in this world that will, I don't care who you are, what man you
Break
are,
you
it's going to
down.
break you.
Yeah.
It's going to break you.
Facts.
So, so before we get too far gone in another direction, let's go ahead and get to what we came to. So let's light it up. Let's get into it. So let's start here. Now let's be real. Mental health as a whole is getting more attention than ever, right? Because we talk about it all the time here on the Fire Session. But when you look at TV and you see all these podcasts, a lot of people talking about mental health. But when it comes to men, a lot of people don't talk about that as far as the men go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a lot of women. It's a lot of women perspective. And a lot of the guys, I don't blame it on the women. I blame it on the guys for shying away from it
Yeah.
and not wanting to talk about it. But I do blame the women for not being receptive enough to it. And, the women play a part in it too. And we'll talk about this because, when a guy is vulnerable and a guy is soft and a guy is forthright with information, they call him soft. They call him, friendly. They call him all these words. And, the guy feels like, if you laying up with a woman and you spending all this time with her and you pillow talking, and you telling your deepest, darkest secrets, and then something happens, and then she divulges all your information to the world, you just hurt that man for the rest of his life. And a lot of times men will close right back up.
Yeah.
And then when they get to the next lady, they ain't gonna open up no more because of the hurt from, and women experience a lot of the same thing. But I think for men it's worse because it's harder for men to open up in general.
Right.
So when you do open up, what I'm saying, to start talking and start, spilling your feelings and all this stuff, and then, somebody talks, what I'm saying, talks that talk and tells you business, then it's like, dang, all right. But, I want to ask you this though. Do men need to open up more, or do men just need to be stronger? That is always the discussion, right? For a lot of people. There's really no in between. There is just one side or the other. So, but here's the reality, man. A lot of men were raised to believe, don't cry, don't complain, handle your business. You know what I'm saying? That's the mantra. So when life hits, stress, pressure, failure, heartbreak, we don't process it. We just suppress it. And we try to be strong. And over time, that turns into anger, isolation, and silence, right? Because we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to be around nobody, and we upset about things, and we don't even understand it. So from the outside, it looks like men don't care, but in reality, a lot of men just don't know how to express the way that they feel. That's the
I agree.
problem. That
I
is the
agree.
problem right there. So when we encourage people to go to therapy and things of that nature, listen, we've had this conversation before about, women allowing men to kind of to console to confide in them, right? If you're dating a guy or you're dealing with a guy and he's confiding in you, a lot of women feel that they are a safe space. But ladies, if you are not really a safe space for that guy, don't take that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Because you're setting that dude up for failure. I'm here to tell you. So, and again, a lot of this stuff can go both ways, I'm sure. But tonight we focusing on the guys, right? Because we want
Yeah,
the guys
ladies,
to yeah,
ain't
yeah, because
about y'all tonight.
we want the guys to understand that it's
Ladies gonna
important,
feel
man.
left out.
Nah, we got them. We gonna have some nights where we talk about, what I'm saying, the things that specifically dealing with the ladies, of
Right.
course, but that's not tonight, right?
Right.
We're talking about the fellas. So let's start here. Trish Michelle, when you hear men's mental health, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Mm. Mm. Wow, that's loaded. Let's see. The first thing that comes to my mind is the fact that it's disregarded. So I'll say that, or basically non-existent. But I will say that a lot of it is non-existent, and it is the men's fault because now you are correct when you say that women need to make sure that there is a safe space. But then, even when there is a safe space, these same men, because they've gone through what they've gone through, or been taught or embedded within them these certain things, they still don't open up, or they still don't say how they feel, or even if they've asked or they've been asked, like, how are you doing, are you okay, they don't even know how to answer those questions. But then in return, as a defense mechanism, it's you don't listen, you don't care, you're not worried about me. And that's not the case if you do have somebody that's asked those questions, but you're not going ahead and opening up. So it's kind of like it sucks where we are at with men's mental health, because it's just come from so much of just being embedded within men that they can't feel, they can't say, they can't do any of that. So I think it's very unfortunate. But yeah, what comes to my mind is that men need to do better too.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's very fair. Coming from the ladies, uh, you
Right.
know, fellas, you hear her, you hear what she
Yeah.
said. So, yeah, that's a great point. Benji Banks. As a man, when you hear the word men's mental health, what's first thing that comes to your mind?
First word I thought was afterthought. It's like
Mm,
something that isn't like at the forefront of the conversation. It's like if you mention it, it's probably not the first thing on your list. It's like five, six, seven, and you probably could go down a little bit further. Now, for the individual man, might be, as we get more educated, you might feel a little different. But just in your atmosphere alone, I don't know how many men have come up in the space where they were checked on and thought about that as much, because it's like, again, you're supposed to be strong. Like, you're supposed to handle the pressures of this world, right? And which you are, but at the same time, I mean, you should have a safe space to fall. One of our good friends, Purvis Taylor, is in his book. He mentions that men should have a safe space to just fall, not to fall and not be able to get back up, but a safe space for them to fall into, to where they can get that relief and then bounce back. For some people, they kind of grew up without that, so it's kind of a tough spot. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what I thought, afterthought, or in that, along those lines.
yeah, I can agree with that from a man's standpoint because, like I said again, for us growing up, it wasn't something that was pushed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like for me, I know I love my dad to death, but I know he's a military baby. You know what I'm saying? He's a product of the military, and my grandfather was a military vet as well. So their way of thinking was just totally different. So there was no point in my life from a man standpoint that I was told to it's okay to cry or it's okay to feel this way or be emotional. It was like, boy, you better straighten up, boy. You better suck it
Mhm.
up. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because
Justified.
back in the day, that's what they used to
Justified.
say.
Justifiable pause.
Just
Yeah,
fiber balls.
yeah,
Just fiber
yeah,
balls. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just because back in the day, that's how they used to talk. But you know what I'm saying? Not no more. But either way, those were the type of things that we were told. But again, for me, I was blessed enough to have my mom where my mom kind of balanced things a little bit,
Mhm.
Right.
where she allowed me to experience some things because I had older sisters. So I was the first boy. I was the only boy in the house.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So she didn't know how to raise a boy. And she told me that on few occasions. We had these conversations and she told me straight out, like, you're my first son. I don't know how to raise a man.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm going to allow you space to, emotionally be safe. So talk to me. Tell me how you feel. How are you feeling today? What went on at school? So my
Mhm.
mom was always tapped into my emotions, what I'm saying, of how I felt. So I was able to display those type of things. But when I was around, other kids and at school, I had to also be in the mindset of you can't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a time and a place for it, and it ain't here in front of everybody.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
so I think that was the way that we had to, navigate that. But as you get older and you start experiencing more stuff, it gets harder to try to hide that stuff, right? Because you get older, as a young man, you start, talking to a lot of girls and stuff like that. Then eventually you're gonna get your feelings hurt and you
Mhm.
gotta navigate that, right?
Facts.
That
Yep.
that first heartbreak is tough, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, who you gonna go to? Who you gonna
Right.
tell? Who you gonna talk to? Right? And you can't go tell your friends because they're gonna be like, man, he's soft. Man, you supposed to be out here pimping. You supposed to be out here macking. You know what I'm saying? You can't be, what I'm saying, being soft. But at the same time, man, we all went through it. But we just had to, fake our way and shake our way through it. But it bothered us in the long run, and we became men that went into the dating pool as young men already hurt,
Yeah.
already having these war wounds that we shouldn't have, had, or this baggage that we shouldn't have had. But unfortunately, that's our truth.
Yeah. And that's crazy when you mention that you get in that space and then you out in the dating world with all of these issues that you just grew up with, that you just developed, and now you out here, as they say, bleeding on everybody, so to speak, right?
Yeah, bleeding on folks that did not cut you.
Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
I
Especially
do.
especially the good girls.
See,
Especially the good girls. I ain't
but
gonna
I'm
lie to
trying. I'm trying not to make it about the ladies. So I ain't got nothing to say because I'm one of the. I'm one of them ones. But that's
you.
how I'm.
The good girls caught a lot of strays. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I know from my household alone. Yeah, some of them caught a lot of strays. Yeah, that's a fact.
Well, yeah, yeah, and I remember as a teenager, or yeah, late teens, Jay
Hmm.
Z had a song, and I think one of the lyrics was, "When a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever, and you got to
Hmm.
deal with the fact you did her wrong forever." Like
Hmm.
those
Mhm.
lyrics stuck in my head because
Right.
it's like, man, it's so many women that because men haven't been able to navigate their feelings, that they lash out and they do things to hurt these women that are
Right.
really, really good women and really, really down for you and really could have been that safe space for you. But because you didn't know how to handle her, as they say now, you fumbled her. And then now
Mhm.
she out there, you know what I'm saying, in the world doing
Act.
whatever.
She acting
And
like the dude now.
Yeah,
No, or
because
she
she
just living in her own life. She don't even have to be acting like a dude. She just
Well,
moved
I
on.
mean, not all of them, not all of them, but
yeah,
yeah, some of them
I
on
get
their
what you're saying though,
revenge tour.
Benji. Yeah,
Some
that's
of
what
them
I
on
was
their
just gonna say.
revenge tour.
Yeah, some
That's
some
kind of what
do some do end up on a revenge tour, and then the men
Yeah,
be playing the little violin, talking about how I fumbled and I want how you doing and I made the mistake. Get out of here with that.
right, right. No, it's very true.
yeah.
Both sides
Yeah,
are equally true.
Facts. So Benji, growing up, were you taught about how to express your emotions as a young man?
Man, no. I was, for me, because I was always into something. My first inclination was to hide something. Like it wasn't openly revealed, but I
that's
would
because you
always
was
get caught.
bad.
Well, all around.
That's the
You
you
get what I'm
don't
saying?
confuse the two.
Yeah, it's all around. You get what I'm saying? I was always into something. You get what I'm saying? So I was always getting caught, or I was always getting blamed for something I didn't do. So
Mm,
because
so
I
you
was in
say,
that space, like I was taught hide it, conceal it. Like don't let nobody find that out. Don't let nobody. Because remember, my family, the way we grew up, you couldn't express what was going on because it wasn't on the up and up, so to speak. You can't, you don't,
mhm,
you go out of this house talking and saying this and it. We was conditioned from the beginning. You keep your mouth closed, stay in the child's place. All of that was what we grew up under. So like, nah, when we went out, we wasn't like, man, my mama was doing this, my mama was doing that, and uncle was, I saw this. Nah, you keep that in the house, you shut up, and that's just the rule we came under. So, but that in itself, when you saw stuff, you had questions in your mind. But again, you're a kid. You don't know how to articulate it anyway. So how you
Yeah.
gonna explain it to somebody anyway? You 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and you seeing stuff uh that you shouldn't see in lighter terms. And
Yeah.
you don't know how to express that. And I used to always say it was funny because I used to have these dreams of, as a kid, of things that actually happened and I didn't know how to articulate it. So, like, even from that standpoint, I didn't know how until I got to an age to where I could read and get around some people with some sense, dog. Like, that makes a huge difference. When you get around an emotionally intelligent man, then you start seeing stuff and you're going to be in this little culture shock moment for a little bit. Like, oh, really get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go to work. All of these types of things, like, and it's like a culture shock. So you got to adjust even to that because you're not used to doing any of this. And by this time, you're 19, 20, 25 years old, and you still don't know how to do the basic stuff that a young man should be doing. And it can be pretty interesting, but you got to grow through that stuff for sure.
That's a fact. And for me, like I said again, luckily for me, my mom gave me space and talked to me about my emotions. And, with me having sisters, gleaned some of that information from them. And, my oldest sister, who's 8 years older than me, so she had a whole nother level of stuff going on where she was able to give me the game early as far as
yeah,
dealing with myself as a young man, but also dealing with women too, giving me the game on that and how to approach that from an emotional standpoint and what I need to look out for and what I need to be cautious about. So that I wouldn't hurt feelings and be cautious. But I was also that little light skinned dude. You know what I'm saying? I was Drake
mhm,
before Drake. You know what I'm saying? I had my light skin emotions. So people used to be like, "Oh, he's a crybaby." You know what I'm saying? Because when he get mad, he get upset, he turn red, and he started crying. Hey, I was one of those kids where if I got upset and I started turning red, there was
It's a
problems coming.
problem. It's
It's
problems coming.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be problems coming. And if I
Yeah.
fight, I'm one of those kids who would cry when I was fighting, and I would
Hmm.
just be that upset, but I was emotional, right?
yeah. It's a lot
And
of emotion.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a lot of pent up frustration, emotions, and
Mhm,
things like that. But again, as I got older, my mom allowed me space to be able to express myself. So, but
yeah,
speaking of that, what I wanted to ask Trisha Michelle, because you have a son,
mhm.
For you and raising a young man, what did you teach him about expressing his emotions?
Mhm. Well, he talks to me about everything.
Right. I remember you mentioned that
Yeah,
before. Yeah, I have a very open, close relationship.
but I can say, because of course, like his dad hadn't been around since 3 months old up until way later in his life to where I would see or notice, like I'm just I pay attention to a lot of stuff, or I would notice like he would feel away if like, where's my dad at my basketball games or whatever. And instead of being like, Get out there and play on the court," like, we talk about it, like I'm, to have a discussion is to make sure he's okay or whatever. Or if it is something like, we went through football, he's angry or he's mad at something or whatever, you teach him, take that hit out on the field. Yeah, we do want to do that. But also, what you mad about? Like, so I like to find out stuff. And it's just me. I like to know why things happen, what's ticking, what's motivating people in general. So then I would be like that about him. And now I've noticed that that's how he is about people and things too. But it started by me doing that with him and being very mindful. And then also, like you say, your mom raised you, you're the first son, so I'm not perfect. I'm matter of fact 17 with a baby, and so I did not know how to raise him, so I didn't start off there. So absolutely, there was times where I didn't notice at first where these things were harming him. So it took a moment to realize, like, why is he so angry at stuff? Why is he so much this or that? So it would become like, hey, maybe I don't think I can solve this for you. It needs to be a therapist, or let me help you understand that therapy is okay. Being not okay is okay. Like letting me know that you don't like me or what I'm doing is okay, so I can figure out why. And so it was those hard conversations that we had to have for him to be able to understand that it is safe here. Because for a while he didn't think it was, especially when his little sister came around. He thought it was me and her against him, and I'm like, whoa. So, it was difficult navigating, especially so young with a youngin, and then growing. We grew up together, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
that's
think
that's actually pretty dope though, because you are supposed to grow. I think we talked about this before, Ken. Your kids having to learn who you are. Your
Yeah.
mom, but your kin, you actually had a life before then. So like, there's things that they get to see us grow. And truth be told, that's part of our life. Like, our kids got to
Mhm.
see us, because we're still growing too. We're still learning as we go. So
oh yeah.
I think that's dope though, that you share that with your son though.
Yeah, I just had sent him something the other day. I said, it was like a little post, and it was just like, to my firstborn baby. It said, "I'm sorry I created you before I had the life completely figured out." Said, "I'm sorry I wasn't fully grown, and you saw some unhealed parts of me." Said, "I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful you came into my life, and I love you more than you'll ever know." Like, so I'd still like, I like to shoot love into him, life into him. He grown, but people be like, "Oh, he grown now. So what?" That's still my baby. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
still gonna be like, "Are you good? What you need? It's your birthday. We're gonna celebrate you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna like whatever." Like, this year, what? It's Mother's Day and his birthday on the same day. So I'm still gonna be
Ah,
like, what's up? Like, son, let's
yeah.
let's go eat. Let's go, whatever. But it's just I had to become an emotionally intelligent person as well,
Mhm.
Right.
which I took my own time because I didn't come from a home where they express like communicating or I love you or whatever, and I'm like, I always say, like, I'm my daddy's son, like, cause
Right,
same,
right,
like, at the
right.
same time, it was like, "You're all right, get up," like, I'm in gloves, like, this and that, boxing gloves and, stuff like that. So there's this big boyish part of me, which I think also helped me raise my son into be boyish, but at the same time, I still had to tap into on my own because my mom was, of course, was there. My mom was the person that was the breadwinner actually, and went to work because my dad was totally disabled from being thrown off a motorcycle when I was real young. So I watched a different aspect. So instead of my mom being the one pouring into like the love in the house, which it was there, but it was just
It was
go.
a
So that's
dad.
why I'm just so much like, let me get this done, let me do this, let me handle this, because that's what I watched. But I had
Mhm.
to learn myself and teach myself like how to actually navigate emotions and figure it out and take my time and care because it's I care, but I had to figure out how do I navigate like actually like figuring out what it is that I'm trying to care about for the people that matter, because it wasn't really there. Although these people cared, it just was never shown like in
Right.
certain ways that I had to figure out like people need you to show it. So how
Right.
do you show it? So yeah, having my
And
kids I think was the best way to start.
Yeah.
that's interesting though, because most people show love through like their expression, like giving and doing stuff like that. And sometimes
Mhm.
you don't even view it that they've been there the whole time providing and hooking you up, but you're not used to that expression. And it could be interesting because some people aren't lovey-dovey and huggy.
Yeah.
Like they just show it through providing and taking care of
Well,
you
that
in
goes
a
into
different
love
way.
languages though. So,
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I was just
right.
about to mention. Like,
Yeah,
generations before us, they wasn't keen on that, right?
at
So,
Right.
all.
when they say, I love you when you cut them lights on, I love you when you put that
They
food in
meant
your
it.
stomach. Like
Right.
that's really what theirs was with acts of service. You know what I'm
Mm,
Right.
saying? Like that was the love language that they were using, but they didn't understand that you had a love language of your own that,
Right.
mhm.
you know what I'm saying, and people still don't quite understand that because they'll do things for people and be like, well, that person's ungrateful. No, they're not ungrateful. They're
Yeah.
grateful for what you did, but that's still not their love language. That's not the way that they like to receive things. So
Mhm.
you have
Right.
to be paying attention in order to, know how to properly show love to people and love people. But
Right.
Yeah.
one thing that you pointed out, Trish Michelle, and it's something that we talk about all the time, and it's a big thing when it comes to mental health as a whole, especially men's mental health, is they got to know that it's okay not to be okay. We
Mhm.
Yeah.
say that a lot,
Yeah.
but people got to mean it, right? The people around you have to mean it when they say it's okay to not be okay. It's okay for you to come to me and tell me things, and I can be that safe space for you, so you can tell me stuff. Because I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to men is we don't feel like we have a safe space
Yeah.
when we're not feeling okay. Um, it's hard to recognize when you're not okay in the first place. But when you
Yeah.
start to get to that emotional intelligence level where you start to recognize these things, then it's like, okay, I recognize it. Now, what do I do about
Mhm.
Mhm.
it?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go to the therapist because I don't know her, I don't know him. So I want to go to my friends, but I don't want to tell my friends this because
Mhm.
it might be a
They
little bit
might
too
look at you
vulnerable.
sideways.
Yeah,
Right.
it might be a
Right.
little bit too vulnerable. So it's that catch 22 of what do I do? Do I just, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm not going to do anything. I'll be okay. And you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the church at all, but you can't just pray it away.
Not
No, you can't.
everything.
Not
I mean,
everything.
you
No.
could now I won't say it like that. You definitely want to pray
Yeah,
Right.
regardless.
I'm just saying, like, you
Yeah,
gotta
but for sure you still need
it's a
oh,
Yes.
work that's
you
got to
gotta
be
do the work.
done.
You
Yeah,
can't just you give it
it's
to
work
God, but
that
you
got to
still
be
have to put
done.
the work in
Yeah,
always
That's a
to be
fact.
able to reap the
yeah.
benefits of the things that God has for you. So
Oh yeah,
you can't just
definitely.
give it to God. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Some
definitely
people
give it to
put
God, but don't just pray and then just
And
think that
then
it's gonna magically, you know what I'm saying,
turn the
happen.
corner and all of a sudden
Yeah,
you
you need to
figured
be
it out.
proactive in trying to figure some stuff out in order to help yourself, and then let God, you know what I'm saying, navigate your path from there.
Mhm.
facts. It's things aren't so one dimensional as we would want them to be. There's
It's layered.
multifaceted of things. There's layers to this
Mhm.
life. There's
That's what I
layers
was
to
gonna say.
you.
Yeah.
There's layers to the scripture. It ain't just, just pray to God. No, sometimes you got to get up after you pray and go put the work in. You get
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Because in that process, in that going process is where you learn. Because I know for a fact you could pray about something, and along the way, you meet somebody that is exactly what you need. Their words just seem to be in season for
Mhm.
you. And they also are showing you some things. I know that happened for me coming from Texas to Cali with my uncle. Like it was a total culture shock. I was young. I didn't have to, I didn't even have to work. But I get out here and he's working and he's doing X, Y, and Z, and he's taking care of a wife and he's doing all of these types. And I'm like, where they do this at? You get what I'm saying? So, but he taught me so much that there was layers to him, and you get to glean off from somebody that's actually doing it, putting in the work, and making
Mhm.
things happen. And that's a whole new scene. And now you got to process that. But you should be attracted to to that. But many people are. You should be attracted to something that's beautiful in the sense of a person taking care of their business.
That's true. That's true.
Facts.
All right, so Benji, I got another question for you, my guy. I'm picking your brain today because you
Let's
you
do it.
you the you're the other man here. So and feel free if you're out there listening and you're in the audience, you know what I'm saying, jump in the comments, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Let
Jacob,
us
we
know what you
seen
think.
you. Yes.
Yeah, so we appreciate the feedback as well. Because like I said, every episode we do, we like to do them live because we want the conversation. We want
Yeah.
you all to join us. We want you all to join the dialogue. We want to hear from you. So, you know what I'm
Yeah.
Right.
saying? Hop in the comments. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
we
Let
don't
us
know
know.
everything. we
Mm-mm.
just sharing our perspective, our from what we think, what we believe. So sometimes
Right.
somebody might say something that all three of us ain't even thought of. So
It's
throw
a
it out there.
Fact.
fact. It's a
Facts.
fact. All right. So Benji, have you ever gone through something mentally and it just didn't tell nobody because you felt like, you know what I'm saying, it would leave you too vulnerable?
Oh yeah, no, that's a fact. That's happened many a times because again, for me, I was taught to conceal because again, I would always get in trouble for something, and then I grew up in a household where things weren't on the up and up, so you saw things that you couldn't talk about, and all you had to do was conceal it. But the whole time, bro, it's like that's bothering you, like it's messing with you. And who are you going to go tell that to?
Yeah.
Because you can't. If I go tell so and so this, if I go tell my teacher this, bro, I'll share with you. And this one is a heartbreaker. So I came up in a house where we lived in the nice houses, big houses. We had nice cars. We had all that type of stuff. But we also lived in a house where the stuff was being made in the house. So what do you do as a little boy, as a little kid, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you smelling like, what is that smell? Like, what is this? Like, what is going on? Later, you find out what it is. It's, the black on the back of the spoon type stuff. You get what I'm saying? But you still don't understand what it is. And again, your condition, don't talk about this. Don't. You're seeing what's happening. So you're seeing in real time what this is doing to everybody around you. You can't articulate it, you can't say much, but me, I dealt with it in this way. I don't want to be like that. And that was the struggle you're fighting with because now this is your reality. Like this is what you're seeing every day, all the time. Like, so you're caught in between, should I do this? Because that's all I know. All I know is, you know, I got 3, 4 cousins, brothers, uncles around me, and they got the prettiest girls on the block. Like, so you like, that's what I want. But when you get attached to it and you get like you try to do it, it's like, bro, like this ain't me. I know this ain't me. Or whether it be drugs or whether like it's like I saw what it did to my auntie. Like, why would I want to do that? And that's what you got to process. But again, the whole time, you don't have no other outlet because ain't no
Yeah.
solid moms and dads. And the best I saw is from kids whose parents were from a distance or the
Yeah.
Cosby Show. You get what I'm saying? And I've mentioned this before. Like you see that and you like, I like that. Like that's what I want. But that ain't nowhere around you. And so you like, is it attainable? And you got to wrestle with that every day. So you got to start making specific moves for yourself as you mature because you're a kid. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to go to. I don't know how to get that done. I don't know how to do that. And so it becomes a challenge. So mentally, you're stuck because, it's like, what do you do? So you're just going to process it. So and so just got an arm cut off from shooting too much dope in it. What you going to do? How do you process that? And she cooking your
Yeah.
food at the same time.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Got a
Yeah.
sock over her arm, pouring peroxide on her arm. Like, how do you process that? It's like, this is crazy, but
A
these are the
lot.
cards we were dealt. So you got to learn how to deal with it, and you got to figure out a way. You got to eventually either grow out of it or succumb to it. And I'm grateful, I'm blessed that I didn't succumb to it. So
Well, see,
that's my
that's what you were made to believe you needed to do. And that's the whole
right,
part of this
right,
episode. You got to either grow out of it or succumb to it. But there's a whole nother thing is you can actually find somebody, but that's what was lacking back then. Is
right,
like you're trying to say is, there was no one to actually go to, and the only places that you would have seen somewhere to go to is way outside of what your environment is, which is
right,
hard to achieve. And then you said, like, which is a very good point, the Cosby Show. Like, there's a lot of
right,
shows that we learn life lessons on, or things that we would never be exposed to or experience that would help us learn these things, but it wasn't enough. So back then in our parents and grandparents, that love them to death, but did a horrible job when it came
Oof,
to emotions and and
Well,
feelings and
they
man.
did
You
they
tell me,
did they did what they knew how to do,
but no, yeah, and that's
right?
what I'm getting to, and
the
I'm
Yeah,
just
best
like,
of their
at the
ability.
same
Right,
time, we forgive
yeah,
them because that's just what they knew, and they only, when you know better, you do better, and all they had was what they were given, and it's
yep,
just passed down trauma on passed down trauma as we are
yep,
slowly getting to now generations like ours, where we're more emotionally intelligent, we're more in tune with our
right,
therapy, and we're just getting more and more into it. So it is becoming a lot safer, and that's where I'm starting to, I want to challenge both sides, men and women, like,
right,
become that safe space, and men accept the safe space. Stop making the excuse. When are we no longer going to be a product of our environment and
yeah.
continue to make those excuses as we are evolving now to something that is
right.
obtainable?
I think what Benji was
And
talking about too is we didn't have outlets back
Hmm.
then, right? We didn't
facts.
have we didn't
Sports,
have
sports was the only way, Ken, for
well,
me to
that's
do it,
really
and
not an
that was it.
outlet,
Well, it's
right?
not. It's not. That's just
Right,
that just
right.
bottles it up,
That's
like
a
like you
It's
band-aid.
not.
said.
That's a
It's not.
band-aid on the
Yeah.
problem, right?
Facts.
That's not solving it.
Facts. Facts.
So, we didn't really have a true outlet because you didn't want to tell your parents a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And we did have school counselors, but at that point, we didn't want to go tell the school counselor because, like what Benji was saying in his situation, you don't
I
want to
can
go
tell you
talking
that.
too much because then the school
You get
counselor is
taken
gonna
out
call,
your
you know what I'm
family.
saying, your parent or the person who's responsible for you, and then they got to come up to the school because you up
Gone.
there running your mouth. Then now you in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's a domino effect. So there was no outlet. So that was the main issue with that type of stuff back then. And like I said, I mean, I can tell you still to this day, there's certain stuff, like I said, that I have to retrain myself to think, you know what? I don't have to bottle that up. I can go
Hmm.
talk to
Yeah.
somebody now because I'm
Yeah.
still learning to release, you know what I'm saying, the reins on certain stuff because I'm just like I don't want to put too much out there because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, I don't want somebody to have the drop on me. Right? They
Yeah.
got the information. They
Right.
got,
And
you know what
see,
I'm
this is
saying?
all just pattern thinking,
Yes,
but
yes,
we're a
it
product
is.
still of, like, our environment or who we were raised by and stuff. And it's there, but it's the first step is recognizing it and understanding exactly what it is. And like you said, that's where you go back and you have to say yourself, like, hold on, we don't have to be like this no more. Like, let me go figure this out. Let
Yeah.
me talk about it. Let me feel, let me navigate those feelings so that I could figure out, like, is it okay? What's going on? What do I need? And that's the beautiful part about what you're saying.
And I think the other problem too is, for us, and I was gonna ask Benji this too, is when people used to ask you, "Are you okay?" Were they just asking because it was the cool thing to do, or it was what they were supposed to do, or did they really care? Because I think a lot of people they check on you, but
Hmm.
it's just a
Hmm.
formality.
Get
Like they're
info.
just checking on you, but they're assuming and they're hoping that when they ask you, "Are you okay?" you're gonna say, "Yeah, I'm good," so they could just say, "Okay, I checked. We had
Don't know
that
about
little
their business yet.
conversation, and now we can keep it pushing." But when they ask you, "Are you good?" and you say no, it's like they're not. They're gonna tell me something. Oh my God. Now I gotta prepare myself to be that safe space. And some people just aren't
Right.
prepared for that.
Or they really didn't care to begin with, and then once you get finished telling them what's
Facts.
wrong, all of a sudden you
Then
hearing
things
their
are the business.
story, because I've been
Right.
there. And I've been like, then
Right.
what the hell did you ask me for? Like, because now now I'm supposed to be your
Now I'm
counselor in
depressed
your
even more.
situation. Like, what did you ask me for? Like,
Well, coming up in our space because people, we were so secretive, so to speak. Now, not down in South Dallas. Everybody in South Dallas knew what was going on. But remember, we're in Lancaster, as my country folks would say.
Lancaster.
We're in Lancaster. We're in
I was about to say, you
Lancaster,
mean
right?
Lancaster out here?
Lancaster.
Because they call it
We're
out here.
No, we call it
Lancaster.
Lancaster. We call
No,
it
I know
Lancaster
out
We call
there
it
it's
Lancaster.
Lancaster, but it's
Lancaster. You know what I'm
Lancaster out
saying?
here.
Yeah, y'all
Right.
can have that. Y'all can have
We're in
that.
Lancaster. Right. We're in
Okay.
Lancaster.
The
But
secret town of Lancaster.
Yeah.
people
Y'all
don't, people
Lancaster,
are,
y'all got y'all pinky out. But go ahead, Benji.
No, it's not.
now
It's
that's a
not.
fact. They got the pinkies up. But people would ask us because they saw us have this nice stuff. So they were being inquisitive because they saw what we had or what we was doing. Like we was getting stuff that nobody had. Like we had stuff. And you know, when you got stuff, people pay attention to you. Like my brother with the North Carolina blue Cadillac on the Dayton's. Like
Yep.
people start noticing what you got and what you have. So that's why they would ask. And we were trained, bruh, shut up, keep your mouth closed. Don't know. Matter of fact, you ain't even allowed to have too many friends. You can't come over our house. Like, can I come spend the night? Nah, man. People don't spend the night at my house. Like it's a open and shut case. You either coming in here getting smashed and leaving, or that's it. Like it just wasn't that. Like it was this revolving door of like, yeah, no, because we weren't allowed to. So when people got a little bit too nosy, that was like red flag for us. Because we was like, yeah, nah, like, It's a crazy story. One of the ladies we grew up with used to come and pick Philip up all the time at the house. She had never been in the inside of our house, ever. So when I released the story out, she couldn't believe it. She was like, Benji, like, I was outside of that house every day. Me and Philip, we were super cool. Like, and if I mention her name, Ken, you would know who I'm talking about. She was like, I was there all the time. I had no idea. Because that's just how my family rolled. Like you couldn't, you ain't coming in here. like, like what? Like hold on, nah. So, but that's just kind of how we grew up, and it was. So you don't talk and you don't say much, and now we're kind of in a space where we're a little bit emotionally mature, and you're talking about things that you dealt with, that you experienced as you grew up, and you got to process them now because you got to figure out like, why do I be feeling some type of way when so and so be a little bit too nosy? Like, why you ask too many questions? Like you going on about your business. But you gotta notice when somebody genuinely cares about you for sure.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out real quick to Demetrius Jeffrey AA91
back
from YouTube, and he put in the comments he appreciated us sharing our perspective. He needed this because he's going through similar things and have gone through similar things. So shout out to you, my guy, because that's why we do this.
Yes,
that's why we do this, and that's why we have these type of conversations and dialogues. And we try to do what we feel like is beneficial to the people, to the audience. You know, of course, we want to entertain y'all. We want to have fun, but we want to have meaningful conversation. As I always say, we want to put the medicine in the candy. We want to give you something sweet, something you'll enjoy, but something you can remember and take with you as well. So shout out to you, my guy, because this is why we do it. So we appreciate you appreciating us. Because you know, it's not easy to get on here and talk about your business sometime in front of people, especially people that you don't know, but this is the platform and this is what we do.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, so Trisha Michelle, I got a question for you. All right, so as a woman, do you think men just sometimes ignore their own mental health? Do you think that that's a big part of the issue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like hands down. And I mean, the percentage of how many men ignore it, I can't say. I can't speak to statistics, but I could just speak from just knowing what the plethora have gone through or been embedded within them to not feel, not say, not like, so to the point where it could become so much of a just robotic motion that you're not even knowing, like, why am I so upset? Why am I
Right.
so withdrawn? Or why am I you're not asking that. You're just that. And you done been that to your kids, your family, your wife, your whatever for a month now, and never
Right.
did you think to figure out what's wrong with you. You're not happy with your job. You're not happy with where you're at in life, or you're not whatever your own things are, but you haven't even decided to even figure that out or even feel that, because in your head you got to provide, you got to get up, you got to go do this, you got to keep going, you got to, so to stop and think about your own mental health, I think that's a large, huge part of the problem is men are not even focusing on that, to even dive into that, to even be able to divulge that to anyone. So that's the beginning of the process, is recognizing it to even get ready to even speak on it. Because you can't even tell me, if I say, how are you okay, and your answer is always yes the whole time, you're not. But it's a half the time, for especially for me, I'm asking because I know, I could tell, I could see, I
Right.
could
Right.
feel, I
Right.
like something is different. And I have to go through those questions, because is it me, is it the kids, is it work, is it your family, is it what, or is it just you? What's wrong? So I'm gonna go
Right.
through all of these questions, because something wrong after so many different little okay, you good. Because I'm gonna let you say you good a couple of times before I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up?
Like what the
Yeah.
problem is. Pull the
But we
Ike
got
on
to
them.
get
Like
to the
what the
point where
problem is.
if I ask you what's up, can you really tell me what's up? And
Yeah.
that I don't think exists in a lot of men, because they have to be able to be vulnerable within themselves to know what's up.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
think
I
I
agree.
think that's the biggest thing right there. Like you just said. I mean, that vulnerability within yourself, to be honest with yourself about what you're dealing with. And a lot of dudes don't even want to face that themselves. So
I
they're
mean, listen to
definitely,
Benji at the beginning of the show.
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
that's a fact. Oh, that's a fact.
I
I'm
know. And he came up in that generation of man up, you'll be okay.
Mhm.
You'll
Yeah.
get through it. And it's like,
hmm
no, man. Like, yeah, you can man up. Yeah, you might be all right. But you still need to have an outlet. You still need to have somebody to talk to where you can release these things, and you can, talk about your emotions and talk about what you feel and what you've
Right.
been through. Because, again, I always use this example. Throughout life, we walk around with a bag. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a bag. Every
hmm
so often, life, with life being the journey that it is, you got to unpack that bag because it gets heavy.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you try to unpack a bag that's on your back, guess what? If you're reaching back here like this, trying to get stuff out your bag, it's hard to get it out, right? So you need
Yeah.
Right.
somebody else that's going to be behind you pulling stuff out that bag. And sometimes that's not the woman you sleeping with. Sometimes that's not the man that you love. Sometimes that's a counselor, a therapist,
Mhm.
Right.
a professional that is able to unpack that bag, because sometimes that bag got a lock on it
Right.
that your girlfriend can't get off, that
That's
your
a fact.
man can't get off, that
That's a fact.
therapist has the code to, and you need to
Yeah.
go see a therapist to unlock that so you can unpack that. So I'm serious,
Mhm.
y'all. Y'all gotta understand the severity, because we have too many men and women that are having mental breakdowns and mental
Mhm.
breaks and committing suicide and
Yeah.
murder suicides.
Yes. It's a
Especially
lot of
from
that
the
right now.
from the
Yeah.
men, we've seen the men have the murder suicide situations
Oh
way
my
too
god.
often,
Yeah.
as
It's
of late.
actually it's getting higher than was
Yeah,
once known. There used
because
to be a perception
It
that
has to be
black
because
men wouldn't commit
the
suicide.
bottled up
Yeah.
yes, it
stuff.
is. They have a
And the
mental
only
break.
answer in their heads at some point, if they can't go here, there, and there because they think they can't, is, the wrong answer.
Right.
Yep, yep. Well, they have a mental break, and when you have a mental break, like you're not in your right
Mhm.
mind.
At all.
So there's
Snap
you're not
temporarily.
thinking rationally. So yep, you like you said, snap, and you do something, and you just fly off the deep end, and then before you know it, you've done something that you shouldn't have done, and you can't take it back. And
Mhm.
or you said something, even maybe not to that extent, but even just saying things that you shouldn't say, and you can't take those words
Oh
back, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying, once they say it. So you have to be very careful with that. So we have too many resources now,
Yeah.
and it's on the forefront. So if you know you're experiencing issues, and we've all been through it, because like I said, I'll be vulnerable myself and tell you, that growing up, people were like, oh man, depression, you better depress them dishes. You better
Right,
get
right.
out there and depress that yard. You know what I'm saying? We heard the word depression, but we didn't know what it was other than the Great Depression in the history books.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like depression, what that is. But when you become a grown man and you go through things, and for me, what really had me in a bad spot is when my baby girl got sick a few
Mm.
years ago. When she got really sick and was paralyzed, like that broke me as a man.
Right, right, right,
And that was probably the most vulnerable I think I've ever had to be, because I didn't know what else to do. Right.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, you pray about it, you talk to people about it, but when your child is not, what I'm saying, feeling well,
Mm-hmm.
and your child is, very sick as she was at that point, like I was just like, man, I mean, that was the lowest I ever felt, because it's like,
Right, right.
for once in my life, I can't fix it. I can't
Mm-hmm.
fix it. I can't fix this problem for her. Can't fix it for myself. I can't fix it for nobody. I feel
Mhm.
helpless, right? So that pushed me into a light depression, and I didn't know what that was until I had to. We talk about mental health on the show all these years, and here I am,
Mm-hmm.
not even doing it myself. So
Yeah.
I had to come to Jesus meeting. I had to pray, and I had to be like, hey, you know what, Ken, you can't be a hypocrite on the show telling people to go seek help, and you're not seeking help. So
Right,
I
right,
had to go to, what I'm saying, seek therapy myself. So, from that point, it's been a lot easier for me to navigate things, because now I have the proper perspective.
right.
Yeah.
A new line of thinking that, allows me to, be able to do small things like box breathing and things of that nature when you feel like your anxiety may be high, or when you
Mhm.
feel like something may be overwhelming, you know what I'm saying? And people look at that and be like, oh man, all that stuff is fake. That stuff is this and stuff. You say
Shoot.
all of that until something
Mhm.
happens and it puts you in a spot where you can't navigate it and you're stuck and you
Right.
need that help. So it's better to be proactive than reactive, for sure.
Man.
That's a fact.
All right. So Benji, uh, be honest, man. Have you ever opened up about something and just flat out regretted it once you said it?
Um, I want to say I know I have. I'm trying to think of the specific one. It slips my mind, but I'll say this: my kids, when they was, my son was left in the car at like
Yeah.
3 years old. He had just
Not
finished
you,
a
Benji.
hernia. Huh?
I was clapping for
Oh,
Demetrius, but then you said your son was left in the car. I was like, wait, not you.
oh.
My bad.
So this one was a tough one because my baby boy. This was at the peak of my career. I'm literally about to be an area coach for a major restaurant. I'm training. I'm doing all the stuff, whatever, and I needed to finish up 3 classes in San Diego, and boom, was like in there. Finished it up. Finished with one of the highest scores, but at the same time, my 3-year-old son was having hernia surgery. It's hereditary. He was born with it, type of thing. So it was like we got to get him in. He's 3 years old. So they're like gonna put him on anesthesia. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be good. Had the surgery, all good. Great day. I finished my testing scores, like finished up my classes. Had one of the highest scores in the class. To be heading home and get a call that my son was left in the car, like, and almost died in the car. Car was like 100 and something, like, and so my kids are young at that time,
Wow.
and like I got my sister who's dead and gone now, rest in peace. She's like not my blood sister, but just loved her to death. Bridget Will. She called me. She's like, Benji, so and so is up here trying to take your kids, and I'm like what? Like what's going on? Her mom is up there trying to act like she's got custody of my kids. So I got to fight through all of this. Like I'm dealing with all my great day literally turned into probably one of the craziest days of my life. Right. And as my daughter got older, I had to explain to her why all things were like they were. And my daughter didn't believe a word I was saying. I had the
Mm.
paperwork, I had everything. She's a young kid. She's 15, 16 years. She didn't, it was her, it's against her mom. Like, it's like, what do you do? Like, but I've always prided myself on being truthful, like, and being totally honest with my kids up front. Because one thing you ain't gonna never say is daddy lied to me. And I expressed and told her everything, showed her the paperwork, and it did no good. It actually made her resent me. She was, in her young mind, she couldn't believe why daddy did it this way and why daddy did it that way and why it happened that way and all of these things. And it was like one of the biggest regrets I think I probably lived with for a long time, because me and my daughter wasn't as cool. Like, and I didn't talk to my daughter for a number of years. Like when the first grandbaby came, Ken, I didn't even go see the kid. Like, I didn't see the baby until she was maybe 3 years old. Like, I didn't even want to talk to her, didn't want to see her, didn't want to be a part of that, didn't want to experience and be a part of none of that. But my wife, when we got married, she was like, you need to, call your baby, you got a grandbaby. You know how y'all are, Patricia, get that encouragement, like, go talk to your baby, go do this, talk to your daughter. And I'm just
Right.
like,
I'm like,
man,
ain't no
God.
way. Come on, parent. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, I ain't feeling none of that, because that was that whole resentment stage right there before
Yeah,
telling
of
the truth
course.
and being honest. And I was like, yeah, I ain't feeling that. But the first day, I still have the video. The first day I saw my grandbaby was probably one of the most joyful occasions
So all
probably
that
ever.
resentment went out the window. All of
Yeah.
it.
You get what I'm saying? Because eventually, after a while, what you have to realize is that in this circle of life, you made decisions 10 years ago. Why are you continuing to let them follow you? It's 15 years later, and you still tripping over that. When all you got to do is have a conversation and boom, because
Communication.
the minds are more mature now. Because now baby girl done lived her experience now. Now she sees,
Yes.
oh, now I see. But sometimes what we do, we encounter people who aren't in that emotional intelligence, all of that stuff that we throw and we put together and we talk about, they aren't there yet. But we're
Especially not baby
divulging
girl.
information.
She was baby girl.
Facts.
So,
You get what I'm saying?
she heard two things. You left my mama and you ain't like, she like, how could you?
Yeah. And you ain't ish. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so you're dealing with all of that. And
Mhm.
now, as a man, you got to process that, because this is your only daughter. You get what I'm saying? Like, and you got to, like, how do you, and you, as a man, you got to how do you make this right? And again, shout out to my wife, who's LMFT, licensed counselor, and all of that good stuff. And we had the tough conversation. And you just have to have that tough conversation. And
Yeah.
sometimes you just need people who ain't gonna sugarcoat stuff with you as a grown person.
Yeah. You need those people in your life. They're important.
Yeah, facts. Like, don't be trying to cross over. What you doing? Like, what is going on? You just and sometimes
Man,
you
he
just
cut you
gotta
up.
be that.
A little tough
Cutting
love
up.
is
Right.
sometimes necessary. Honesty, a little bit, just and we navigate that, and we still have to navigate that though, because just like there's love languages that everybody receives things differently too, though. So you can't. You can do a little bit give and take here. You still gotta give them what they need in between that.
Facts. That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right. Well, shout out to Jacob Grovey, man. He put a powerful comment out there, man. He said growing up, his dad told him something like a man who won't cry will eventually drown in his own sorrow. That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
And that's basically just saying, if you keep things bottled up on the inside, you know what I'm saying, eventually it's going you know what I'm saying, pull you all the way down.
Yeah. But I like how he says we had to navigate or express our emotions respectfully, because that's the next part. Because as a man or just as a person that could bottle up so much, that could come out in ways that we don't know how to navigate or don't intend to, or like we've mentioned, or he's even mentioned the unaliving themselves or murder suicides, the snapping, so you gotta figure out a way to address those things and bring out and speak your truth and your feelings, like properly, respectfully, in a very like calm. I mean, it could be a little through it, but we're gonna get through this conversation. And you do need a person
Yeah.
that can navigate that conversation with you. Because
Facts.
if this person is like
You ain't gonna
that
get
is
nowhere.
not
Yeah.
that it is not gonna be okay.
And I think
Facts.
that's where the therapist comes in, right? They
Yes.
arm you with information and talk to you about scenarios that could arise or that have happened, so that the next time those things occur, you can approach them in a different manner. You have a different approach, you have a different mindset. So because a lot of people, they're quick to say, why I need to go talk to somebody, why I need to go do this, why I need to go
Hmm.
to therapy. Well, because of the way you're acting out right now, because I just
Yeah.
said therapy, you clearly need it. You clearly need it. So yeah, so people, stop running from it. If you need it, get the help you need, because again, I'll continue to say this and repeat this: it's better to be proactive than reactive. So, you know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
sometimes you need to just have a soft enough heart to listen to the people around you. Like,
Mm,
you can't be so
I
staunch
I
and
won't call it
dogmatic.
soft hearted.
I
I'll
mean,
call
a
it
little bit.
open. You need to have
Open
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 hearted,
mind,
ears
open
and
open
minded.
an
minded.
open mind,
Yeah.
open ears and an open
Yeah.
mind,
Yeah.
because
Because
you don't
some,
have to be soft hearted to understand or hear to empathize or even sympathize, depending on what it is with what this
right.
person is having to say. So
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, people are faced with challenges. They're dealing with all types of stuff, and some people don't know how to articulate. And sometimes you just have a disdain for the people who have your best interests at heart for whatever reason. For what you going through your own stuff, and you got some solid people around you, and you don't want to listen to them. It's sometimes you gotta get, get checked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
and don't
shout
be
out.
waiting for somebody to ask you what's wrong with you too. If there is somebody, like sometimes we got a lot going on in our own lives.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Like, there is so
Everybody
much
does.
going on, so if you have people that you could trust, like, you have to there's no way you're gonna figure out who's your person if you're not even allowing it to happen. Like, if
Right.
you're not participating in navigating and finding that individual that you can, have that safe space in, whether it's your woman, your best friend, your
Hmm.
brother, your sister, whoever that person is. How you gonna get there if you just sitting there in a corner waiting for somebody to ask you how you doing? And so
Right.
then you can feel validated and then express it. Like, and then you just got this chip on your shoulder the whole time. Like, you do have to test the waters, unfortunately. And if you don't want to do that, then you do need a therapist, because you can't just not say nothing about anything. This life we living in right now, and y'all done seen it. It's getting
Right.
worse when it comes to El Presidente and what else is going on out there. Like, it's so much, food
It's a bit
costs a
murky.
lot. Yeah, food costs a lot, gas costs a lot. And we got to navigate that on top of the household, the kids, our own problems, our own, like, there's a lot to deal with,
Yeah.
and you are not supposed to just be okay every day. So find somebody to vent about it. Like, I love to get a little stuff off my chest, and I'd be like, my bad, I just need to vent real quick. I just need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't even need no advice. I just need to say, fuck
I'd
this.
see say a few things.
And that is a key too, that people got to remember and understand. Sometimes when people come to you and confide in you and talk to you, they're not coming to you for advice. They're
Yeah.
just coming to you because they need to get something off their chest. They need to say some things. Now, if
Hmm.
they ask you, so what do you think? Then that's when it's your cue to give your advice.
Right. Or,
But
hey,
if
I
they
need
ain't,
your advice on something.
yeah,
I
if
need
they
your.
ain't
Yeah.
asking you that, like sometimes they just need somebody to talk to,
Right.
and it ain't got to be no advice. They just need a listening ear, just flat
Right.
Right.
And
out.
pay attention. Because when that person does start to even say the slightest thing to you, shut up and let
Oh
them
Lord.
talk.
All right,
Hear
so
them.
speaking of shutting up, I want to take a turn for a second, right? Before we get ready to wrap up, because this is a huge part of men's
Right.
mental health, right? Our partners, right?
Hmm.
Um, so Tristan
Oh Lord.
Michelle,
Oh
first of
Lord.
all, let me ask you as a woman, do you feel like a lot of women really truly understand what men go through and their mental struggles?
No, and they don't even care.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
Like,
a fact.
I won't say all of them because I'm not part of the ones that don't care. But from what I see and what I'm watching and what's on social media, and if that ain't you, then stop putting it out there. But is they are so worried about themselves and their gains and them bags and this image and this and that, like, and the man need to do that. Like, don't even care if man is up to his ear and just drowning in life. Don't care. Do not
Right.
care. Like, women, that's the problem. Like, I'm not gonna say we, because I'm not part of the we.
She like, let me excuse myself for a minute. Like,
Because I'm just not. Now, I'm not perfect at it. Like, we all we possess some sort of selfishness within us at times, depending on what we're going through, without recognizing, like, hey, we overlooked something. But if you got that ability to go back and be like, hey, I know I've been busy, but are you good? But there's not a lot of people don't do that, especially women. And I understand that there's a lot of women that's probably like, do you not understand everything that we do? Oh, yes, I do. Very much well, I do.
right.
But I still care about and try to check on my peoples around me. I send it to my friends. Hey, y'all, just a the welfare check. How everybody doing? I ask my man, it's been a minute. I'm checking on you. I want to make sure you're good. You good, work good, family good, your mom good, kids good, everything with your co-parent good, this good. Like, I'm asking all the questions because although it looks good, everything ain't that glitters ain't gold. So, like, women, I think the problem is y'all don't care enough to ask, because and then there's so much of, oh well, what about me. Like, this is supposed to be a partnership. Like, you care about him, he gonna care about you, and y'all gonna work together. But it ain't just all about one person, and that is a big, huge issue to even make that space available for the man.
Okay. Lord Jesus.
Facts. She said it. We don't even have to talk about it. She said it.
Facts.
Y'all listen to it, and women, get it together, because y'all want these brothers to take care of you. You want this man to be your leader. You want this man to be your protector, and all these things that you demand of this man, where you got to have a safe space for him to be able to do all that stuff.
You want all that, and you don't even give a damn about how you feel.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Not even realizing that if you made him feel better, he'll roll drums for you.
In a different episode, it does go in reverse in certain areas. So I hear y'all women out there, but hush, this ain't the episode.
This ain't the episode, yeah.
All right. So Benji, do you feel like you can be fully open with your wife?
Oh yeah,
tell her everything.
Sure. Oh yeah, like we don't. So this was one of the things that I decided when I left the dating scene. It was like, I want to be married and all that. First of all, I realized the best part of me is in a relationship with somebody, because I'm a giver. That's who I am. I know what I'm capable of doing when I'm not, and I know what I'm capable of doing when I'm in something solid. But I wanted us to make sure we understand that coming into this, we ain't doing that fake stuff. If what I do makes you feel a certain type of way, or if something you do makes me feel some type of way, like, we're having the conversation. We ain't just glossing over feelings over here. Like, and I'm not finna sit in my own house and be a stonewall for nobody. That's for kids. That's for anybody. Because that's not freedom. I love my home. I love my atmosphere, because I create that space. You get what I'm saying? Like, I love that, because that's always something I adored or I wanted as a kid, to be able to be in the house and it be this dope space to be in. So I made sure, look, if something's bothering me, I'm coming to you. And how you process it is another thing, because everybody doesn't process everything, like you want them to. But you sit down and you have a conversation. And yeah, we've had some tough fellowships at times. But in relationships, when you got two energies coming together, you're gonna have that. And you got to understand that she ain't gonna see it your way all the time. You ain't gonna see it her way all the time. But at the end of the day, how did this make me feel? How does this make you feel? And if it's sideways and makes you feel some type of way, we ain't sitting here defending ignorance and stupidity and stuff that we consider detrimental to the entire house, not just us. Because when we out of whack, the whole house is out of whack. And I'm too grown for that. I ain't got time for that. Like, what's up with you?
Yeah.
What's the deal? And we're gonna have this full-fledged conversation. And your beard stink, your wig stink, whatever it is, we having the conversation. Whatever it is. You
Yeah,
got a little,
yeah.
you got. What's up with your dirty fingernails? Like, you can't. Whatever it is, whatever your space is, or whatever you find important, that's what we're doing. Like, don't come in this bed smelling like day old cabbage water. Take you a shower.
Ooh.
It's period.
Well, yeah,
Whatever it is.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you're on timeout. You're
Yeah,
you're
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's what it is, if that's the conversation that need to be had, sometimes you just
Have it.
gotta have them,
yeah,
right?
no, you definitely gotta have those. Cause you took getting this
Have it.
damn cabbage. You gotta have that conversation right now. You stop that right now.
Like, and I want to share this because with my wife's mom is like a holistic doctor. Like, she goes to a holistic doctor, all that type of stuff. She's big on health, and she's 86 years old, still getting up, still can see, all this type of stuff. We be in so much of a go mode, bro. Like, we forget. Like, take the sugar control. Like, stop eating so much sugar. Like, you're getting these headaches every day. Like, hold on, wait a minute. And you got to have the hard conversation. Like, did you drink some water today? Simple stuff. Because your blood pressure a little high today. Like, I noticed you're a little so-and-so. And we have these hard conversations. I don't care how it makes you feel. Because listen, if we're both in charge of each other's emotions, feelings, and all that type of stuff, we checking on everything that is concerning you. So ain't nothing off the table. And that's just kind of how we roll.
Yeah, I think people just need to understand too that everybody wants to be seen.
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to be heard. In relationships, no matter what's going on, you have to have that space for both of you all, to feel that way. Like Trisha Michelle was saying earlier, you need to listen, and when you are having those conversations, you need to not be listening to respond, but you need to be listening to
Sure.
understand and comprehend what that person is talking about, what that person is feeling.
Right.
Because sometimes we get caught up and we thinking about 50 million things and somebody's talking to us and you're not really listening. And they might
Right.
be telling you something that's really, really important or something that you really need to be paying attention to. And then later on down the line, you're like, man, I didn't know. I didn't hear them say this. I didn't hear them say that. And listen, as a man, in the past few years, I've had 3 people that I know personally commit suicide. Three guys.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that was tough for me because I talked to these individuals like the day before they did that.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
2 of them,
Right.
I talked to them the night before. The next day, get up, get phone calls, text messages that they know that they took their lives the next morning.
Yeah.
Or the next day, and I'm like, I just talked to him literally last night. It ain't on no Facebook stuff, no social media. Ooh, I just
Like legit.
was around him. I literally just
Yeah.
talked to them. Literally, just talked to
Right.
them the day before, and that bothered me, man. That bothered me tremendously and it still bothers me to this day
Right.
because of course, we have that mindset of maybe it's something I could have said, or maybe it's something
Yeah.
I missed. Maybe that's something that, what I'm saying, I could have done to stop it. But at the same time, I can't even tell you what I was thinking in the days before because I was just in the same flow of, yeah, man, we talk every day or we talk every few days. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, man. We're gonna chop it up
Part of your
tomorrow.
normal routine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just assuming that there would be a tomorrow and
Mhm.
never knew that they were
Yeah.
going through what they were going through. Or they were experiencing a type of hurt that would send them to that link to feel like they need to take their own lives. So I mean, we just gotta be more attentive to people, man, and just like I said, just paying attention more.
Yeah.
Like Trish Michelle said too, pointing out something great early, is paying attention to people's feelings. I mean, as far as like in their actions, like
Yeah.
their body language, how they
Their
move.
nonverbal cues and
Yeah,
things.
Right.
nonverbal cues and things like that. Like you got to pay attention
Right.
to that stuff too, because it's a lot of times when stuff is going on, there are signs, but we
Mhm.
Yeah.
just got to slow down enough to actually see them. That's
Yeah.
that's usually the problem.
That's the catch. Slow down enough. And I'm grateful, man, because I know sometimes you get in go mode and you just be go, 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 go.
Mhm.
Sometimes God just has to shut certain things off. Let me stop that. Let me stop that. And it puts you in this space where you can just see things a little bit different. That's why I'm grateful I started my garden outside, because it makes you slow down. Like you can't force nothing. You can't force nothing to grow. All you got to do is be attentive to it. Don't overwater, don't overdo this, don't overdo that, but make sure you pay attention to the little small, and it makes you slow down a little bit. And sometimes that's just where we need to be at sometimes we just need to slow down a bit.
Yep. And Benji, before we wrap up, I got something I need to ask you as a man, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is more difficult? Opening up about your feelings, or being understood?
I would say being understood, because at this particular point in my life, like I'm not afraid to express anything to anybody. As you get on, and when you've come through the stuff that I've come through, and you almost look like, you came out without a scratch, that people have a tendency to believe that, because they see you on this side, they see you doing good, they don't believe you really went through nothing. Like, bro, I had to put in work to get to this point. And I ain't interested in making no more rookie mistakes and no rookie moves. Like, we can't fumble certain things at this age. So I'm okay with telling you, this is the expectation. This is how it's going to go. This is how we roll, and this is what we do. I'm okay with that. But being understood, because everybody doesn't move like that. Some people are just so used to people being so just not authentic, and just helter skelter all over the place. Like, they're just not used to you coming to the table with your expectations and sticking to them, because they hear a lot of stuff, they hear a lot what's going on, but everybody, that ain't really who they are. And when people have conversations with me, I'm grateful for the people that have gotten to know me, that say, you know what, yeah, no, that ain't Benji, because that don't sound like him. And those people, when they understand you, it's one of the greatest feelings to you as an individual, because now they're attached to they understand your character. They understand what you're about. They understand if Benji puts his name on it, it has to be something cool. But to folks who are just outside, who don't really know you, and they ain't really trying to understand you like that, everything is a misconception. And who has time for all of that chaos at the age where I'm trying to, we're at now? I just don't have time for it. But it happens out there. It's out there for sure.
Yeah, because you old, man. Can't be messing around.
Hey, man. Listen, man.
Can't be messing around at this age, at this ripe old age. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You still lying on your ding-a-ling, Negro? Man, anybody got time?
Man.
Whoa.
Just ain't got time for that. We just ain't got time for that type of stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff should be played out in your physical appearance, your physically as a man. Some stuff should just be played out, because it don't even taste right to you no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just
taste.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just let Benji just say what he say, because I don't know, but
I don't know. Right.
I mean, throw a little something out there. That's it. Can't be too raw.
Well, well, I understand, the sentiment that Benji's, conveying, because, being understood is the hardest part of, I think of it all, because sometimes we don't even understand ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very, very hard for somebody else to understand us. And again, that's where therapy, counseling comes into place.
Yeah.
Because, with people out in the world, your family, your friends, sometimes they have so much stuff going on in their own life. They don't have the bandwidth to take on your issues, to hear your issues, to really have that discussion with you. So, some people are blessed enough to have people in their lives where they can do that, but others don't. So you have to figure out for yourself what's the best, recourse for your situation, because
Yep.
at the end of the day, you're the only person that can control that. And you're the only person that's gonna have to deal with that, and then your family's gonna have the fallout from whatever you're dealing with if it doesn't go well. So
Right.
sometimes you just got to get out of your own head and stop being selfish and go get the help you need, because at the end of the day, it's not just about you, especially if you got family, especially if you're a father, a husband, and you got people around you depending on you. You
Yeah.
definitely need the help.
Facts.
Yeah.
So but this has been a very dope session. We want to continue the conversation as much as possible in your own personal circles. We could talk about this forever on this episode, but of course we
Facts.
can't. So we gave a lot of information. We talked about a lot of situations. Again, continue these conversations in your personal circles, right?
Mhm.
When y'all sitting around drinking, smoking, chilling, talk about something worthwhile, right? We all want to have those great conversations with our
Mhm.
friends and laugh and cut up and roast each other and do all this cool stuff. But at the
Mhm.
same time, you can't be in that mode all the time when you got people around you that are going through things. Because
Right.
Yeah.
what you don't want to do is somebody in their circle that you drink and smoke with, something happened to them, you're going to be feeling the same way I felt when my friends took their lives, right?
Right.
What could I have done? Because there's nothing you can do at that point, because you can't bring that person back.
Right.
So
Yeah.
again, I repeat, be proactive instead of reactive all the time. Okay. All right. So Trish Michelle, from a woman's standpoint, let's wrap up with, give me one message that you could send out there to the fellas out there that you could leave them with for today.
Well, let's see. So first thing I'll say is that um it is not everyone's duty to be your therapist. Some of us don't possess the ability to even navigate that,
Mhm.
to where you may feel hurt, bad, or like these people don't care. Sometimes they do, but they don't even know how to navigate that. That's the point of therapy. It is unfair to those individuals to not even know how to help you as well, but there is professional help. And if you are, like Big Ken said, just for yourself too. So I will say that. So not just if you got kids and you got a family, your husband, your whatever you are, like just yourself. There's things that you need to do for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can't help anyone else if you can't even help yourself. So
Mhm.
navigating your own mental, figuring out that and getting yourself correct. And here's the other thing. You may not even know you need therapy sometimes. Everything is
Right.
fine until it ain't. Just like Jay-Z said, and that's one thing I always stick to, is he didn't go to therapy when he went to therapy because he needed it. He just went and learned so much about what he did need and uncovered so much about himself and traumas and things about his child and whatever else that he that ain't even why he went. And so you don't have to go because something is wrong. You could go just to make sure nothing is wrong. And or to, everything be about bettering yourself.
Mhm.
And also challenge your groups. I will say this to men: challenge your friends, those homeboys that you play games with, that you laugh and joke about stuff with. Challenge them, and let's talk about something deep. Ask your group how they're doing, or let's talk about something that's meaningful going on, and see how they respond, and slowly do it and see if they open up. And if they don't respond the proper way, you might want to start vetting some of your people, because you do need
Right.
individuals in your life that are of depth, somewhere. Like it has to go beyond the surface level of the smoking, drinking, partying, playing games, and hanging out. You need individuals that's going to show up for you in areas of the places that are always out there on the forefront. So I'll say that. That's what I leave y'all with.
All right, all
Facts.
right. Yeah, that's powerful, powerful. And let them know where they can find you at on social media, because they be
Yeah.
looking for you.
So you could find me on social media everywhere, just about at Trisha Michelle underscore TM on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube for sure. So go follow my YouTube, for sure. And then of course you can find me on the Fire Session. So you follow Fire Session, you'll always find me here on Tuesday. But yeah, so actually you find me everywhere. Just
Yeah.
got the handle.
All over the
Facts,
face, and you
facts.
can find the forehead glistening too. So you're gonna be
Man,
all right.
this is what we call clean skin.
Yeah,
Hey,
got
hey,
it glossy.
Period.
All right. Well, we appreciate
Old dry ass Benji
those.
over there. Look at him. He look matte. Me and Ken shining. That nigga matte fine.
Oh, man.
Glossy.
Oh,
Glossed up
man.
like a
All
mug.
right, all right.
All right. Well, Trisha Michelle, we appreciate those words, and we definitely need it, and we definitely heed them as we go forward as the men in this society. Because you know what, fellas, the women have a lot of great things to say. Some of y'all have some excellent women in your life that are
Right.
around you, helping you, supporting you on a day-to-day basis, and you need to shut up and listen to them sometime.
Mhm.
Flat
True.
out. So,
True.
because they are the person that's the closest to you a lot of times, and they're observing you, and they see things and they know things. So listen to them, because they could definitely improve your quality of life, and that's what that's what part of their job. That's part of our job, as you know what I'm saying, for one another. I don't care if it's your partner, I don't care if it's your father, son, daughter, you know what I'm saying, family unit, whatever. We're around each other on a day-to-day basis. We should be, you know what I'm saying, helping one another. You know what I'm saying, helping things
Mhm.
be a little bit easier for each other. You know what I'm saying, making life a little bit better.
Facts.
So yeah. Benji Banks, the man, the brand, man. Let the people know something before we roll out.
I mean, man, shoot, man. Find you a good hobby, man. Get outside, man. Like find you something to do besides your normal that you used to do. Find something you like to do. I don't care if you like archery. I mean, if you could little crazy, I mean, maybe archery ain't your thing. But whatever it is, man, find you something to do outside. I was reading a study from a Doc Amen, and he said one of the biggest leading causes for mental health issues today is people are stuck in the house a lot. They're stuck in their jobs. They're stuck in warehouses. They most of they do is they go home and they go to sleep, and they don't have any outdoor activities. So it's one of the leading causes of a lot of depression. A person that likes to stay in the house, stay in the dark all the time, that's not good for your mental health. Get outside, man. Go do something. I don't know how to garden, but I made up in my mind. I'm tired of eating food that don't taste like food no more. So
Mm.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna build my own thing. If you go to enough restaurants and you're like, man, this don't even taste right. And you just decide, you know what, let's create. And then your creative juices get to flowing. You start looking at other stuff. And here's the crazy part. Now all of a sudden, everything that's on my timeline got something to do with chickens,
Oh Lord.
gardening,
Mhm.
compost, what to do, how to do this, how to do that. Your whole social media profile changes.
Your algorithm.
The
Yep.
algorithm changes. So you got to find yourself something else to do, man. Find something new to do. You're too dope to be doing the same thing, living in a 7 mile radius all your life. Get out, explore. Go to, go
New
eat some
Orleans.
fried chicken in New Orleans or
They
something.
don't go eat fried chicken.
I
Like,
mean, something,
come on now.
Go do a cooking class, man. Learn how to make your own biscuits. Do something.
And
You get what I'm saying?
Bob Benji's new book, From
Yeah.
Garden Tools to Gardens.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. From guard twos to guard.
From clucking to plucking.
Oh.
Oh, hey. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Find something else. Find something to do, man. Find something to do. Get you a hobby. Find something to do. But y'all know where you find me. You can't find me at my house because you will never be invited. Most of y'all.
What?
But you can find me restaurant, shop. You can find me all over the place, church, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let your boy. You know where to find me at.
I don't think they do.
I
Oh
mean,
man. Oh man. That man say y'all ain't gonna be invited. Uh-uh. Come on my house. Uh-uh.
we do invitation only, man.
I'm not sure they was worried, but it's okay.
Hey, you know what? You be surprised. These folks on social media, they
That's
nosy.
true. Because they'll be
nosy.
the sent you your front yard. Like, don't worry, I know it already.
If you send random people an invite to your house, I guarantee
I guarantee you they show up.
it's gonna be some folks that show up that you're gonna be shocked that would
Yeah,
actually
you know
come.
that, and that's so crazy to me. And this is sorry you brought it up, but I've seen people with invitations and they post the address on their story, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I ain't doing that. It's
Like-
invite only over here. If you come in to pick up these collard greens when they come, it will be because I let you know I got some collard greens for sale. That's about it.
Okay.
Selective few.
All
Benji
right,
Banks,
collard.
the man, the brand. You know what I'm saying? Collard greens and pinto beans. Y'all know what he
Okay.
was
Hey,
saying.
Man,
From
listen,
garden
man.
tools to gardens, that man say he on top of it. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm gonna take a picture out in the garden. Watch what I tell you. I'm gonna post it too.
and then you put from plucking to plucking right there while you picking the plant, the weeds out.
Y'all wow.
Man.
Y'all wow.
All right, y'all. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave y'all with this thought. Men's mental health isn't just being ignored, it's being misunderstood, as we discussed earlier. I think that's the biggest thing, is it's misunderstood. Because we've been taught to stay silent, to carry everything, to call that strength. But the real strength isn't suffering in silence, y'all. So you got to speak up. You got to say something. It's knowing when to speak and having the courage to be heard. So check on your people, y'all. Speak up when you need to, because silence is not strength, but you got to have an outlet. So figure that out, who you can have an outlet with, who you can talk to. And if you can't figure that out, then there are professionals who will help you out. All right. So let's get up out of here. You know, you've been rocking with Trisha Michelle, Big Ken, and Benji Banks, the Fire Session. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on all social media platforms so you don't miss the next session. And remember, check on your people. Matter of fact, shout out to Jacob Grovey. He put another comment in the comment section, and he is discussing the fact that having friends and family you can actually open up to is imperative. And he called a friend the other day and was able to talk that friend out of taking his life. So that is a big deal. Shout out to you, my guy. And that is why having good friends, and that is why having good friends is necessary. Jacob was able to call his partner, chop it up with him, and keep his partner from taking his life. So shout out to you, Jacob. And the many people out there who, you know, are friends and who check on people, make sure when you check on them, you really check on them, show them love, and value these people, because tomorrow is not promised. So until next time, keep your circle tight, keep your energy high, love your folks, stay lit. It's the Fire Session. Peace.
Yeah.